Do a video on my thoughts on the Legend of Korra Book 2 trailer that was recently released. So a really cool trailer. Um, the animation looks awesome. From what I can tell, it seems like they're doing two different animation styles for the season, because as you know, the season book 2 is entitled Spirits, and this involves Korra and her allies going into the spirit world or involving it. So we definitely know from news we got earlier throughout this year that Korra will be going into the spirit world, and the trailer we got actually confirms this. But it also looks like, from what I can see from the trailer, it looks like that they will be using two separate animation styles for the season. So when they're in the physical world, they'll be using the same animation style that they have been throughout both Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra Book 1 Wind Air. But it looks like for when they're in the spirit world, it looks like they're going to use a different type of animation. Now, it's still a 2D hand-drawn animation, but it looks like they're going to be using more kind of a washed-out, almost a watercolor look for the spirit world. So it definitely looks like it has like kind of this very whimsical, charming animation style to it, at least to parts of the spirit world that we've seen. Now, obviously, we've also seen concept art of kind of like the inky kind of, I guess, evil spirits, but we're also seeing kind of more animal spirits, and this kind of has more of like a whimsical watercolor kind of feel to it. Obviously, but the animation is really cool. The concept art for it looks really interesting. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. From what I can tell for the trailer, it appears that for part of the journey that Korra takes into the spirit world, it seems like she's going to be guided there in part by Jinora, because we see her and Jinora going into the spirit world. So that'll be pretty interesting. So I don't know if, I guess that kind of implies that Jinora has a particular spiritual powers that maybe her other family members, don't have. Although I know airbenders have always been really spiritually in tune, so it kind of makes sense that, maybe some airbenders would have more of a knack for spiritualist kind of activities than others. And perhaps maybe Jinora is one of those individuals where she has a certain knack for it. All I know from what the trailer shows is it seems like she's going to help Korra go in there. We also see this really interesting character, that we see this young man who is obviously living in the spirit world, and that he fights various people who are in the spirit world, and we see him with some animals, like he wears a fox mask, and you can definitely see like the Japanese influences in this. So I'm kind of interested in what role he is, like who he is, and what the role he's going to play. Is he going to be a potential ally for Korra, or is he going to be a potential enemy? But we see a lot of him, so it'll be pretty interesting to see that. From the trailers, though, besides Korra being in the spirit world, it looks like Korra is going to have to deal with the conflicts on two fronts. It seems like she still has to deal with earthly conflicts, because we see this one scene where there's like a bunch of battleships in the water. We see Korra and I believe Mako flying on the wings of a plane. And we see other instances of Republic City. So it seems like Korra, besides having to deal with this stuff in the spirit world, it seems like she's also going to have to deal with earthly conflicts. So maybe the issues that happened in Book 1 are still going to be addressed, which I'm glad about that, because the issues with the inequality between benders and non-benders, like that, never really seemed like that was addressed. And I think even though they dealt with Amon and Tarlok to a certain extent, like it seems like ultimately the major conflict in Republic City really wasn't addressed, which was the issues of inequality. And so I'm kind of interested if for Book 2, if they're going to deal with that, or if we're seeing another earthly conflict. But obviously, besides dealing with that, we're also dealing with the conflicts in the spirit world, because obviously things are happening in the spirit world. We see the evil spirits. We obviously see this kid in the trailer, so we don't know what he's doing, but it really seems like, from what the trailer shows, that Korra is going to have to fight on two fronts. Like, she's going to have to fight on the earthly plane and have to deal with earthly conflicts, and then she's also going to have to deal with conflicts in the spiritual world and in the spiritual plane, and she's going to have to deal with that. And that'll kind of be interesting. I'm hoping that it'll really challenge Korra, and I'm hoping that she grows, because I think one of the biggest problems personally that I had with book one is that it really didn't seem like Korra grew as a character, and that's kind of an issue for your protagonist. It's kind of an issue for them to be really no different from when the story began to when the story ends, and I think that's really kind of unfortunately what happened with Korra in book one. And the thing is I want to see her grow and progress as a character, and hopefully that'll happen with book two. Hopefully she will be challenged enough, and hopefully she will grow as a character, and that we won't have her just continuing to stagnate as a character, because that's just super, super boring. It also looks like we're going to see some of Korra's family, so we're going to learn more about the Water Tribe. We kind of knew that before now. I know that there was some rumor from the creators that we may see Amon in Tarlock in the spirit world. We found out that book two is going to come out in September, which I'm really excited for that, even though I know they keep pushing back the release date, because I know that originally book two was supposed to come out in April, and then there was news that it was supposed to come out in May, but then that never happened, and then they didn't say anything. So now they're finally saying it's going to come out in September of 2013. So I hope so, since it's been over a year since book one came out and ended. So I'm hoping, since it's taken so much longer than they said it would, I'm hoping that we're going to get a really great animation, although I know that's a given with the series. But I'm hoping we're going to get a good story, and we're going to get good character development, and that we're going to improve on the things that need to be improved on from book one. So with that said, I'm definitely really excited for book two, and so I'm definitely looking forward to September. So let me know your guys' thoughts on the trailer and what you'd like to see happen in book two. So with that said, make sure to comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next